Hi, I'm Sunny J with Sunny J Live. And we're here to talk about the ups, the downs, the ins and outs, the crazy turnabouts, the slips, the trips, the stumbles, and the falls. But most importantly, the get back ups as we together engage in this thing called life. And today my guest is Chad Murray. So welcome, Chad. How are you?
Oh, Sunny, thank you so much for having me. I'm so grateful to be here.
Good. So tell us what's going on with you. What you got going on?
Oh, man, life.
That's the beginning, right?
Downs and turnarounds. It's all happening right now. But thank God we get to experience it, right?
Absolutely. We're still here.
Absolutely. We're still here. Going through the whole COVID experience. I know that we've all experienced a lot of loss, a lot of shift in what our reality had been to what it is today. And it's made room for like transformation in life. And, I've lost a lot of people, but I've also been able to gain a lot of friends. I've been able to gain a lot of experience. And, life is just amazing.
Absolutely, it is.
It's an amazing experience.
And it is about transformation because you have to be able to adapt.
You got to be able to adapt. Have to be able to reinvent yourself, right?
Over and over again till you get it right. It works. Something happens.
Yeah. Something happens. 'Cause do we ever get it right?
Right? I don't know.
Right?
I don't know. You just keep striving.
I think it's just moments. I think that we all have moments that we get something, do something that matters and that you're able to leave behind. And speaking of that, I actually just wrote my book, The Homebuyer Blueprint.
Well, all right.
Right? And this piece, I think I got right.
You got it right.
I got it right. Got something right.
Okay, so share a little bit about your book.
Oh man, well I actually got started in the real estate industry 20 years ago.
Okay.
Oh my gosh, every time I say it, I just can't, like 20
years ago.
I was 19 years old, right? And here's the thing about it. The interesting part about this book and the work that I do as a lender, and also as a credit specialist, is all of my biggest blessings have come right behind my biggest failures, right? So I'm 19 years old. As a matter of fact, at the time I'm 18. I'm going to school. I went to Sunniej, Albany in upstate New York. And I'm away from home for the first time, and I don't have to abide by any curfew. They had these things called, what are they? Alcohol.
Oh,
right?
alcohol,
That thing, and the other thing that, what's the other thing that,
weed?
Oh, that's it,
Okay.
right?
Okay.
So it's a crazy combination, especially at a young age, and I wasn't ready for all of it. The freedom, the drinking, all of these things that are just at your disposal without really having a sense of self.
Right.
Without having a sense of direction. So man, did I get lost.
Okay.
And I eventually got into one little fight and my mom got scared and she sent me back home. I didn't go back to college, but when I went back home, I went to community college in Nassau Community College. And I had one class that met every Friday. And in this class, there was this Jewish guy. First time I encountered really other cultures.
Right.
This guy had his yarmulke, and every week he said, I can't wait to get to work. I just had a commission and I made $1,200. The next week, I can't wait to get to work. I closed the deal and I made $1,500. And I'm thinking, this guy is annoying and he's lying, right? But by the end of the semester, I realized that every single week he's tallying up these numbers that I'm pretty much making in a month.
Right.
At the age of 18, 19.
Right.
So at first I'm like, this guy's annoying. By the end of the semester, I'm like, I need to know this guy.
Right. What are you doing?
So I introduced myself. What do you do? He says, I do mortgages. Come on down and check it out. Changed my life forever.
Wow.
Changed my life forever.
Now you do mortgages now?
So I do mortgages now as well. So at that point, just starting out, I came in to be a cold caller.
Okay.
So I'm taking up the phone and I'm calling for 12 hours a day.
Wow.
Monday through Friday and a few hours on Saturday. So I'm working about 70 hours a week and I'm getting paid $225 a week. So if you do the math on that, it's right around $3 an hour.
Right.
But it wasn't about the pay for me at that time. What it was the smell of the place. It was the look of the place. It was the energy. I knew something was happening that was different from anything that I'd experienced before. These guys with their slick back hairs and their tailor-made suits and their shoes that you could see a reflection out of, I needed it. I wanted to be like these guys. And by just being around them, I learned the lingo. I learned how to understand what equity is. I learned how to understand how interest rate affects somebody's payment, what credit was. I learned all of these master level concepts in this industry called real estate.
Right.
And that was my gateway. And from that point, I never looked back.
You never looked back. Well, you know what? I know he has a lot more to tell. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
K-Y, come on, come on. Oh, K-Y-L-S, yeah. The gloss, the gloss. 24/7, L-S, 365, yeah. L-S, the gloss, yeah. L-S,
Hi, welcome back to Sunny J Live. And things are about ready to get heated up because, Chad over here all cool, looking slick and everything, telling us all these wonderful things he learned when he was very, very young. So now we're going to see how has that held up from then to now.
Well, have you ever been on a roller coaster?
Yes.
Yeah, well, that's what it's been like, a total roller coaster. Because, from the time of 19, I actually learned a ton. I actually hired my first 2 people at 19.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So I hired my cousin and I hired one of my best friends. And they started doing mortgages, and then I hired someone else and then someone else, and then I ended up building a team. By the time I was 21, by the time I was 21, I bought my first house.
Okay.
But by the time I was 25, I had 100 people working for me. And
wow.
People from like my social circle, people that saw my car on the street and asked for a job. But most of these people were brothers and sisters just like me that didn't have any knowledge about real estate, didn't have any kind of a degree. All they had was the eagerness to go for it. And this game, real estate, mortgages, gave them that path. And I was blessed to be in a position now that I was a teacher. I was able to train them up, teach them about the process, teach them how to sell. And, the proudest thing for me is when we used to come to work, you look into the parking lot and it looked like a car show.
Okay.
Because it wasn't just me making money.
Right.
My team was doing very, very well. And, the beauty of it is that we were able to change our families, we were able to change our perspective, which had so much of an impact that just ripples.
Right.
But it changed me as a man.
Okay.
I was a jerk, right? I wasn't ready for this. I'm getting all of this money for the first time. I'm getting all of this clout, all of this, anything I want from, because I was making more money than my parents combined. I was driving the best car in the town. What can you possibly say to me?
Right.
And that was my attitude.
Gotcha.
I lost any sense of keeping my feet on the ground and remembering again who I was and who I'm here to serve.
Okay.
And it was just about serving me. And the crazy thing about when you lose yourself and your feet fly off of the ground and your head gets big, when that bubble pops, you learn how you treated people by how they treat you on your way down. Mm-hmm. I learned a lot.
And that's truth. That is truth. And I always tell people there's an up and there's a down. And the thing is, you do have to learn how to treat people. And it's easy to get lost. When easy. Money's coming, like you said, you can get whatever I want. Hey, I'm the man. Listen, I'm cruising. I'm looking good.
Right.
Yeah, it's hard to stay grounded, right?
It is.
So what did you wind up doing?
Fell.
Hit rock bottom?
I felt so hard. It was crazy because, we all experienced a recession. And for me, it was crazy because, again, I have 100 mouths that I'm responsible for, right? 100 people plus my family.
Right.
And one day we came to the office, and it's like when you go to the grocery store and there's no eggs.
Okay.
Right? No eggs? What do you mean there's no eggs? You come back tomorrow, there have to be eggs tomorrow, right? No eggs. Like, think about what that would do to you if you went to the grocery store and they didn't have grocery stuff.
Right.
We used to go to the mortgage business, and there was no mortgage stuff. You couldn't sell a loan. If somebody had an 800 credit score and made $6 million a year, you couldn't get them a mortgage. The game just stopped. So all the money that we was bringing in irks, but all of the bills kept going. At that time, I owned probably about 12 houses and 3 cars and stupid lifestyle stuff that I didn't need. What did I? You know, I used to get a whole bunch of $2 bills just to tip with and be, you know, just unnecessary things like stupid. And you can imagine where I used to tip.
Right.
Well, that's another conversation.
Right.
But like the truth is, I got so caught up in this money thing that when it fell and I lost it all, like literally, I lost the house to foreclosure. I was able to sell the others through short sales and get them off quick.
Right.
But the bills kept on coming and the money wasn't coming. So this Heidi image that I had of myself, with every month that passed with no money, I started to look at myself different.
Right.
I started to equate my value with my bank account.
Right.
Ooh.
That's a lesson right there.
I equated who I was with what I had.
Right.
And the beauty of it is that I think that God knew that the man that I was growing into wasn't a man that was going to be a blessing. He wasn't a blessing.
Right.
And I can look back at him and I wish I could talk to him. I wish I could talk to him and be like, bro, listen, no, the money doesn't define you. You get to define you, and you have to stay true to what you're here for. And that failure, that falling, allowed me to actually reconnect to what I'm all about.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's all I can say. I know you guys are saying wow too. That's what that's what it's all about, right?
It is.
And being able to be true and be vulnerable about it, right? To be able to share, because people see you today, and we're gonna talk about where he's at today and what's happening with his life. But you don't know where people have been or what they've been through. It has nothing to do with what they look like. It has nothing to do with that. But it's also being true to yourself, right? And not losing sight of who you are. So on that note, we'll be right back. We're back here at Sunny J Live with Chad Murray, and what a story. But we're going to continue that story. So you hit rock bottom. Then what?
Oh, there was more.
Oh, there's more. You ain't at rock bottom yet.
No,
Okay.
we just on the first floor. We didn't get to the basement yet.
Okay.
But the truth of the matter is that what compounded the fact that the money wasn't working is I got really sick.
Oh, wow.
I got sick with Graves' disease, which is a thyroid condition. And I mean, I got down to 129 pounds.
How tall are you?
6 feet tall.
Oh, wow.
129 pounds.
Little bones.
So yeah, like literally, I was in the bathroom one day, and I couldn't breathe, and I'm over here inhaling, and every breath I took, you could see my ribs.
Oh, wow.
You could see just ribs, and then my sister happened to be there, and she said, "Get in the car, stupid. We're going to the hospital." Because I'm trying to self-medicate with steam. Like that was gonna help me, right? She yanked me, took me to the hospital, and they said, "Listen, if you'd have came an hour later, you'd have died."
Wow.
Right. And the thing is, while I'm going through all of this financial downfall, that my health is deteriorating, but I'm not even looking at it because I'm looking at my bank account, I'm looking at the finance, I'm not focusing on me.
Wow.
Meanwhile, my suits are fitting me like they're my dad's suits. You know what I mean? Like baggy as ever.
And you just wasn't seeing
And all of them are tailored, and I couldn't, I wasn't focused on that.
Right.
So now I went to the hospital, and here's the story that's really, but this is rock bottom. Okay. And it's embarrassing me telling you right now, but I'm gonna tell you the truth because, it is what it is. I'm in the hospital bed, 129 pounds, and I gotta use the bathroom. Get up, wires everywhere. And I'm trying to pull them out, couldn't make it to the bathroom. Middle of the floor, on the way to the bathroom. And I was so embarrassed, and I'm not talking about number one, like that was embarrassing.
Gotcha. Yeah.
So my nurse came in, and my nurse used to go to high school with me.
Oh, wow.
So this is my, so I'm feeling totally ashamed, but look at God, right? She came in. She was one of my friends from high school too, and she like wiped it up and like took care of me. Like I'm skin and bones. I'm broke. I'm broken. And this woman came in at my lowest point, my most embarrassing moment, and she just like cleaned me up, not just physically, but it was something that she did to my spirit that made me feel like, wow.
That was an angel.
Right?
She was your angel.
Like my value to her wasn't about what I can give her. It was her doing what she was called to do, which was to love on the broke, the broken, and the broken down. And that's what she did for me. Can you imagine?
Yeah. God sent you an angel.
I'm telling you, and I always remember my friend Tika. She like, that moment mattered so much to me. And I wouldn't say that particular moment was the process that I started to recover, but that was the beginning of the journey, right? Because once you hit rock bottom, there's only one place to go, and that's the beautiful blessing that God will only give you as much as you can bear.
Right, absolutely.
And at that moment, what I got connected to was working on me. So the first book I read that was the part of my journey of actually building myself back up was The 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey. Changed my life in one book, right? But it put me on a path to just start consuming positive information. Because again, the bills are still coming, money's still not coming, I'm trying different things and I'm going crazy. And my cousin at one point told me this advice. I'm like, cuz, because he's going through it with me, right? We worked together, we did everything together. I'm like, yo, they keep on sending me these bills, and every time I open the mailbox, it just makes me so, like, just throw it away. You know you can't pay it. Just throw the bills away.
What else you gonna do?
Right. And what that let me realize at that moment is just surrender. Gotta let go. Like, we hold on to so many things, to anger, right? We hold on to disappointment. We hold on to images of things that aren't even there. Who we could have been or where we should have been at this age of, let it go. And when you let it go and you be in the moment, it just gives you space to be able to like really catch your blessing. Because your blessings come in small things that you might not really appreciate or consider, but that was the first step. Really working on personal development. I started going to seminars. I started really doing work around helping people. The first step in helping people, I had a lot of credit issues. I lost the house to foreclosure. I lost a car that was repossessed. I lost. And a part of my process was to start to fix myself credit-wise. So I started building my credit back. I was able to get the foreclosure off in 2 years rather than the 7 years that it would take. I was able to get all of these negative items off of my credit. And when I started to master the skill of credit repair, I started helping my friends, started helping my families, and I created a business out of it. And I wrote a book called The Credit Building Blueprint. And I was so passionate about helping people to build their credit back that, like I said, I started a business around it. It was great, but what I saw is my limitation in that business is that I felt like I wanted it more for people than they wanted it for themselves. So that's when I came to a point where I'm just going to I started getting into flipping real estate. So opportunities starting to open up once I opened up. Once I opened up my spirit to being able to grow, opportunities just started to flow abundantly. And that was just the start of the get back, the bounce back.
The bounce back.
Yeah.
Wow, we like that. We like the
You need
bounce
to
back.
bounce back, right?
You can hit bottom, but you got to bounce up.
Right. That's right. Nobody will watch basketball if you just threw it on the floor.
And it stay there, right?
You know what I'm saying? Gotta bounce back.
Gotta bounce back, and that's what it's all about. You gotta have the ability to bounce back and be strong enough. Like you said, in your case, you realized you had to surrender. It wasn't nothing you could do.
You can't control everything. You can't control life. It's an illusion.
As much as people think they can, they really can't. Like you couldn't control your health. So now, how long were you sick for?
Man, I was sick from about 2008 to I did a radioactive iodine treatment that killed a part of my thyroid, and it worked out well because I haven't been on any medication or anything since. And as you can see, I'm quite sexy now.
Listen, he just got engaged. Don't be getting me beat up in here.
No, but I mean, I was sick for a while. So the thing about the thyroid disease that I had, it made me irritable, it made me tired. I couldn't control my if I had to go, I had to go. I
Wow.
lost a lot of weight. My hair, I actually have dreadlocks, y'all, and they were long.
You know, your hair fell out and all
All
that?
my hair, but I mean, my locks were thin.
Right, so it was like, yeah.
Yeah, the losing the hairline, that's the chapter 2 of it. You know what I mean? There's more. So the hair.
Oh, okay. We going on a journey today, right? We going on a journey today.
But
So
I'm hoping that my part of my journey could bless somebody here, right? Because when people look at me, I speak well, I write well, I do all of these things great, and they might just think that, oh, nah, man, I've been through it. And I hope that what I've experienced could help other people to not have to go through the same things.
Absolutely, and that's the thing, sometimes we bump our heads, and we don't have to bump our heads if we pay attention to what people did before us and use that lesson.
Right.
We might bump our heads a little bit less, right? So on that note, I hope you're taking notes. Be right back. Hi, have a TV show idea, but don't know how to get started? Reach out to me at glsthegloss.com at gmail.com. Again, that's glsthegloss.com at gmail.com, and we'll help you find your voice. Hi, it's Sunny J here with Sunny J Live. I'm hanging out with Chad Murray over here. He has taken me on a journey and you on a journey. We done went down through the valleys, but we've come up too, because obviously, he doesn't look like what he's been through. You was there, you knew what the money was, you knew what that life looked like. You also knew what it made you become.
Yeah.
And it wasn't somebody that you actually, looking back, you were happy with.
Not at all.
Right?
Nope.
So, and God has a way of, like you said, your hair get too big, he has a way of bringing you back down to your size, right? Making you come back to reality. Like, who do you think you are?
Exactly.
Get it together. And obviously you've gotten it together. So tell us a little bit about what's going on in that aspect for you.
Well, I think that the power in the journey that I've experienced, I've had a lot of ups, a lot of downs, and I think that it all works for good, right? Mm-hmm. That's what the good book says.
Absolutely.
It all works for good, and in my journey, one thing that I realized, one thing that I really advocate to everybody, the process of personal development, right? Spiritual development, self-development. These are critical to your success, because it's only when you're able to listen to yourself, right? Listen to the God voice inside of yourself, right? God's inside of each and every one of us, right? That's the answer. And I've gotten that answer from so many different people and so many different experiences. For example, I went to a personal development workshop called Momentum Education. If you get a chance, check it out. It's amazing, right? And in this one workshop, it asked me the question, what do you want? What do you want? And when I broke it all the way down, right? What it said was, I want to help young black boys become successful. And it was clear as day. I did this workshop probably 2014. As clear as day, I knew that what made my spirit sing was working with young black boys to help them become successful. I knew it. But the thing about God is, it kind of works when you're obedient, right? And I wasn't obedient to it. Because again, for me, coming out of what I experienced, I had a lot of insecurity when it came to money, right? Financial insecurity. I was making money, but there was still like a trauma around losing so much, right?
Right.
That I still had blockages, and all I could think about is like, listen, I'm gonna work 14 hours, 16 hours a day because I gotta get to the paper, I gotta get to the money.
Gotta get
right?
it.
So I was okay and I was doing well making the money, but there was always something in me that I wasn't allowing myself to really be true to what was inside of me, which was working with young boys to help them become successful. It was clear as day, I heard it. And it's funny because I've had experiences where I've connected with God, and I don't mean for this to be all religious and all of that, or so spirit, but if we're talking real, we have to talk about what's real.
Absolutely.
And you have those moments where you have a message that comes to you, and it's those crucial, vital moments that if you don't listen, it could cost you your life, it could cost you years of success, it could cost you everything. But when you're obedient to it, it never fails.
Absolutely.
It never fails. And for me, I finally became obedient to that voice in terms of working with young boys, and I've been doing these workshops, teaching young people everything that I know. So I've I've flipped. I've been involved with over 1,000 transactions between mortgages and real estate.
Wow.
Right. I've done a lot of deals.
Right.
So I've seen a lot of deals. Things that people look at as problems are like, oh yeah, give it to me. I know how to fix it.
I can get that.
Literally, I know how to fix it. So what opened up to me is I have this audience of young boys that I've been working with now, and I can tell them everything. I don't have to hold back a thing.
Right.
I get to share with them my successes. I get to share with them my failures. I get to tell them the whole entire game. And every time that I leave from working with those boys, I feel like I am floating through the day. It's the most amazing thing, just by being obedient to this thing that's been inside of me and working with the people that I know I'm here to serve has been such a gift and a blessing to my life and a gift and a blessing to my business.
Right.
Because when people see me working with these young people, they're saying, listen, I didn't know these things that you were telling these kids. Can you help me with my mortgage? Can you help me with my house? Can you help me buy this house? Can you help me sell this house? Yes. But more than anything, I feel as if my journey isn't for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm clear about it. My journey's not about me. Like these stories, I just told you some embarrassing things. I don't care about it, because you know why? Because there are gonna be other people who are gonna deal with illness.
Absolutely.
There are gonna be other people who deal with the loss of success, right? Failure after failure after failure. And if you don't see the other side, sometimes you can't believe that there's another side. But I can tell you, oof, it's so real. And it's here. It's here for you. And there's a blessing in those burdens if you're just willing to surrender to it. I'm just so grateful. You know what I mean? I'm so grateful that I've been able to go through this and then bounce back. And now, who'd thunk it? I write books to teach people how to do stuff.
Right.
You know,
right.
This book right here is comprised of stories of people who experienced failures that I helped them to overcome.
Wow.
You know, and you know.
Well, I got a pen, so I expect an autographed copy. But anyway.
Absolutely. Right.
But that's, that is what, those kinds of stories is what Sunday J's Live is all about.
Yeah.
Being able to share those stories, uplift, inspire, encourage, right? And then when we share our stories, it lifts a burden from you. Every time you share that story, you probably get a little bit lighter, a little bit lighter, a little bit lighter. Because where you at now? Oh, you've never shared that story? Oh, well, see? Isn't that something?
Yeah.
Isn't that something?
It's embarrassing. That's embarrassing.
And we premiered it on Sunday J Live.
But I mean, it's a part of my
But it's a
story.
journey. And absolutely. And I believe that God sends angels, and that like you said, it was a very embarrassing moment because it's somebody I know, but she wound up being very caring and nurturing, and like you said, healed you in a lot of ways. And so then he just sent you an angel. And it happened to be an angel you knew.
Right.
Isn't that something?
But he sent me other angels too. I have one story that's kind of wild, and I'm looking for the guy and I can't find him.
Okay, wait. We got another story coming up. Pause for the cause. Be right back. Welcome back to Sunny J Live. Still hanging out here with Chad Murray. The stories are incredible. I'm inspired. I'm uplifted. You have to be. But can't wait to hear what he has to say next.
Oh, yeah. So you're talking about angels, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's amazing how God works. It's really, and again, it's just there's signs and moments that just help you to get to your next level. And you have to pay attention to those moments. They're happening all the time. You just got to pay attention, and you never know who the messenger is. This one day, I had this crazy meditation session. I got into meditating for the last few years, and it's been a challenge because my brain is always on. So like really getting into sitting down and consistently practicing to meditate and then pray, like consistently meditating and praying. One day I had this meditation and I felt like I was floating. It was the most amazing experience. So my boy called me and said, yo, we're downtown, my friend's in town, come through. So I go drive downtown and I walk to the spot and my spirit just says, nah. Simple like that. And I'm like, all right. So I didn't have any plans, but I'm walking away and I'm about to make a left and my spirit said, nah, keep going the other way. I'm like, yeah, all right. And I'm walking downtown, my hands behind my back, just drifting and just coasting. But I feel like I'm being just led by the Spirit, and I'm okay with it.
Right.
And the Spirit said, turn left here. So I turn, and I get to this parking garage, and it says, greet this brother. Now look at the guy, and he has on one of those vests, right? You know, the camouflage vest, and he has the orange thing in his hand.
Okay.
And he just looks like, you know, he looks like he's on the street, right? He doesn't look, you know, particularly vibrant. He looks, you know, on a street man.
Right.
So my Spirit says, give this dude some blessings. So I'm like, my brother, how you doing this evening? And he says, yeah, brother, I'm good. I'm like, man, I just wanted to tell you, have a good night, brother. And as I'm about to walk, he said, yeah, and I used to be human just like you. Uh-oh. I'm like, this dude is crazy, right? But then he said, but how can I be a man if the man that made me is a God and he put God inside of me? Okay, that's pretty deep. Where are we going with this, brother? He says, yeah. I said, yeah, brother, you got to give yourself up. You got to give yourself up to the one that made you so that he can tell you who to be. Wow. What? Now, mind you, at this time, the word that I'm processing, the word that keeps on coming up is surrender, 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 right? And that's the message that he's giving me. And we sat there and we spoke for probably about a half an hour, this guy, right? And it's like he was a character in my life that just showed up, like a guru that just popped up. About 8 months later, I do a networking event, right? For a real estate networking event. And I'm negotiating a deal at the spot that I'm doing at. And I'm leaving the garage, and this guy is pushing the cart. And he comes up to my car, he's like, listen. I don't got it, brother. He says, no. God just told me to give you something. So he reaches down to go into his cart, and I'm like, oh, that's the same brother. But it's like,
right.
He didn't know it was me. It's like a new character.
Right.
The same guy playing another character like the Golden Child. You ever remember the Golden Child, Eddie Murphy?
Yeah.
So he comes out and he pulls out this book from Dave Ramsey.
Dave Ramsey.
Right? Called the like the Money Building Blueprint. Something, a Dave Ramsey book, you know.
Right.
And he throws it on my chair and it says workbook. Now, at this time, I'm over here trying to bring this to life. I don't know what direction to take. I don't know what it's supposed to look like. He drops this book on my passenger chair, and I almost start crying because I know that this is like this. Come on.
Right.
I'm coming out of a lounge. This guy's on the street.
And
And
it's
he
the
gives
same
me,
guy from before, and this
he
guy's
gives
giving you a
me
book.
This book, not just any book,
Right.
but this book
Right.
that was literally like a template, so to speak, as to how I could develop my book. It gave me so many, and then it's like he said, brother, God just wanted you to know that you on the right path. You're about to be the next black millionaire. You just gotta keep going. You gotta keep going. And I'm like, thank you, brother, thank you. And then he said, that woman in your life, you gotta get away. I'm like, oh, snap. Oh, snap. And as sure as everything he said, I'm not a millionaire just yet. But I know that with the lives that I'm gonna impact with this book and the work that I'm doing, it's only just a matter of time. But the woman got away, and it made way for me to find my fiance.
Isn't that something?
Man,
Isn't that something?
imagine if I'd have just been like, get out the way, irks.
Yeah.
Or not
Missed
been
the lesson.
obedient. Man, this guy, and I know that he plays the drums on the street downtown in the evenings, like not the drums, he plays like buckets.
Right.
Man, he's been such a blessing to my life, and I just want to give him an autographed copy of my book and Sunday.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
And he disappeared. I can't find him again. Once the book was launched, I cannot find the guy again. And I feel like it's just a mythical moment where it's just like, you know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah.
Right?
Oh yeah. That is quite interesting because one of the upcoming episodes of Sunny J Live is Have You Encountered an Angel? that's a next, we're looking for people that have encountered angels and have those experiences and things like that, because people don't believe sometimes, and like you said, that's just number one, you saw him twice.
Saw him twice.
You were led to him the first time, and the second one he just kind of pops up, but it's always he had a message.
I mean the message at the time.
And get away from that woman.
Get away. The way that he said it, you gotta break away. I'm like, what, I gotta move? Like, no, just break away. I'm like, all right.
Was it a bad relationship?
Man, listen.
Oh, okay. So you're like, he really didn't really have to tell me that. It's kind of like you should know, but you needed to hear it.
But bad relationships are sometimes the most addictive ones.
Yeah, that can be. That can be. So, wow. We're getting deep, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're getting really, really deep.
Yikes.
Okay. You might need to get a little sip of water. We're going to go a little bit further and bring back a little bit more tea. Be right back. Welcome back to Sunny J Live. We're here with Chad Murray. What a story, right? What a story. And I know he has a few things he wants to share before we leave you for today. So I'm going to let you have the floor. What you got to say, Chad?
I know we spoke about everything but real estate, right? But the truth of the matter is that one of the thing that I know, I thought I knew a few things, right? Like I thought I knew women, but based on the evidence, I don't know. I know real estate though. I know real estate. And if you're looking to buy a house, I can help you get funding. I can help you negotiate. I can help you. If you're looking to sell a difficult property, I can help you there as well. In my book, you can get a copy for free if you go to my website, chadthelender.com, and schedule a consultation with me. I'll be able to help you with all kinds of different financing options. If you have credit challenges, don't worry. There's no barrier that would keep you from actually taking this step to finding out how soon you could become a homeowner. So I believe that this is the frontier when we talk about civil rights. Mm-hmm. This is the frontier that we could win. That's why I focus on the young people.
Right.
Old fogies, they're already in their ways, and if they don't believe they could buy yet, they don't believe they could buy. But the young people, when I go to speak to them and I talk about real estate, like, they perk up like this. And they're like, can I do that too? And it's just to know that what you're giving is so well received, and to be in a position that I'm giving the kids, right? So it's not like I'm doing I do seminars as well on real estate, where you have to make sure that you're giving just enough information to keep people coming.
Right.
With these kids, I could just pour it out. And I could be there consistently, keep on nurturing them through the process. And my goal and my vision is that teaching young people real estate, what we do is we're going to have a groundswell of real estate professionals, whether mortgage lenders or realtors or inspectors or appraisers, that are going to hit the market in about 4 years, that are literally going to change our world. And that's what I want my legacy to be.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so for anybody that has young people who they want to teach real estate to, reach out to me. I'll be able to refer you to the programs that I work with. Also, if you want to buy a house, if you want more information about real estate, whether it's investing, man, that's all I've done. 20 years, right?
20 years.
That's it.
So there's a lot of lessons in them 20 years.
Yeah,
up, down, like you said, up, down, all that
like
kind of
Jay-Z
stuff.
said, Hope did that, so hopefully you won't have to go through that. So, I'm not as great as Hope or nothing, but I've been through something.
Right. So, of course, the information is there. Reach out to Chad. He's willing to share, and I know you're working with the young people and all of that, and that's awesome. And in 4 years, we're going to see a swell.
It's less than that. It's
less than that?
But it's happening. I've accepted that this is my life work. It's my life work. I mean, yeah, working with you adults is cool, and it pays the bills, and I'm able to really impact families. But man, listen, I experienced it when I hired over 100 people at the same time, all of these young brothers and sisters. I already saw what it does. Right. I already saw when we got together and we started buying property. I saw it. We made a difference, and it's touching the world today. I've mentored 4 millionaires, at least 4 millionaires. right, who will tell you right now, yeah, Chad is the one that opened the door. And that's great, but if I could do that for 14-year-old, 15-year-old,
Yes.
16-year-old,
Impact.
up to 20-year-old young men and women who don't have a vision, because can I tell you, Sunny, when I was in high school, when I learned how much it was gonna cost me to go to Columbia University, which is where I was being recruited to play soccer, it turned off my whole spirit from even really considering college as a
Wow.
real option.
Wow.
And when I went to college, it was only a couple of us anyway, so it was not like it didn't feel like a real thing to me.
Right.
But you don't need college to make six figures in real estate.
Right.
Think about if you're a senior in high school. Think about if they could buy a house 2 years out of graduating.
Right.
And it can happen. It's for real. It's
Right.
today and tomorrow.
Right.
And that's where I want to make my impact in life. So if you can help me to help the next generation, please. Bells and whistles. I'm coming with bells on my fingers. and
Absolutely.
toes.
Well, I tell you what, if we're still doing Sunny J Live at that time when this swell happens and you'd like to bring one of your proteges,
Yeah.
on and he can talk about what he or she,
My new proteges.
You
You
know?
leave the old one.
yeah, he or she, because
He
it
or
don't have to
she.
be a male, but he
Yeah,
or she
yeah.
can come back and talk about how, number one, how this whole thing
Absolutely.
changed their life. Because that's what it is.
Absolutely.
And it's really about impacting the next
Yeah.
generation
Yeah, it's gonna
and
happen.
leaving that legacy. And you just got to know what that legacy is that you want to leave.
Mhm.
And so you found that.
And you found yours.
I
Look at
found
you,
mine,
son.
and if you didn't hear, he did just get engaged. So he might have a problem with who he was before and didn't know about women, but I think you got it right this
I
time.
think I got
I hope-
it.
I hope
So
you got it right. You got it.
It had
He said,
nothing to
no,
do with me. It was about surrendering again.
All right, that's
God
what we
gave me
talking
the
about.
alley-oop and just sent my queen for me. Like, how lucky am I? Like, oof.
And-
Man.
And that's it right there. That's
Yeah.
what for somebody that is not real. And it's just they doing something, you don't get that. They're like, yeah, I'm getting married. But that's what I was looking for. Because I know that from our conversation that you're very real, very happy where you're at right now in your life
Man, I'm
and
so
your path
blessed.
that you're
I'm
going
so
on.
grateful. I'm so blessed. All of these blessings, man. I mean, look, I have a lot of challenges, even to this day. A lot of things happen. But man, I woke up in Florida with, what was it, 70-degree weather and this breeze. I took a walk with my queen and the breeze was hitting our face. It was just amazing. And then, the fact that I get to serve, I mean, so grateful. Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, thank you, Chad, so
Yeah.
much for coming. This has been delightful. I know you learned a lot. You encouraged, you were inspired. Reach out to Chad. He'd love to talk to you. Like you said, if you go to the website, you give a free copy of your book.
Free copy of my book, chaddelinder.com.
A little consultation. Do a consultation with you.
You can do a consultation. Look out for my commercial. I have a commercial out there right now too.
Okay.
It's really cool. So, chaddelinder.com. Big things happening. Real estate investor. If you need funding for real estate, if you need money for real estate, start with me. You won't go anywhere else. You won't need to.
And on that note, love you. Bye for now.